Hello chess friends and welcome to your Out of Chess channel and welcome to an absolutely mind-blowing game that I cannot simply wait to show you. Welcome to a spectacular game played by Stockfish 17 against another top engine Renegade from the TCEC Season 27 official random event that you can follow now on the TCEC website. This attack, this beautiful game that I'll show you now, I simply cannot find words to describe you how the fish is attacking. Is really crazy. Yesterday actually we have covered the reverse game where Renegade with this same setup played with the white pieces and Stockfish played with the black pieces, and Stockfish still won the game. But this game is, I think, even much better. Put your seatbelts on and enjoy really in one of the greatest attacks in fish random chess that you see in your life. So with white, the fish in this particular setup opened with the move e4. The Renegade's response was b5, and now Stockfish cements here the position in the center of the board by playing the move f3. We have now the move a6, b3, knight to d6, and now Stockfish went for the attack. Simply attack now the weak pawn on a6. Renegade defends it, Stockfish develops the knight, and now d6, trying of course also to bring other pieces into the game here by black. Queen to e3, Stockfish centralizes the queen again, and now Renegade is searching to find a breakthrough maybe here with the move d5. Stockfish here develops the light square bishop. Bishop to g2 is for instance perfectly fine. I think also bishop to h3 could be very dangerous for black to handle, because then the king is lined up on the same diagonal. We have now c5, an expansion by black here on the queen side, and now comes this idea, this indirect attack against the king on c8. Here we have f6 by Renegade, trying of course to do something, trying of course also get maybe the knight into the game. But the issue is, I think, this e6 pawn, this is now the cracking point in black's defense. This is something that Stockfish will try to attack in the continuation of the game. We have now knight to f2. Stockfish is liberating now the d file, is trying to open the position with the move d4. Renegade develops further the knight, is trying still this progressive plan with the move d5. Stockfish now breaks in the center. We have now a developing move by the queen, and now d takes c5. D takes c5, rook takes d8. Important move here by Stockfish. This move is not allowing here Renegade to castle further. In fish random chess still you can castle, you can here do moves like this, you can still for instance playing castling, but now when the king has moved by black, black has lost the privilege to secure the king by castling. After king to d8, now the real fun starts. So from this point on, the Stockfish will perform very monstrous attack. Stockfish plays now the move knight to d3, simply goes now for the c5 pawn, which forces now Renegade to play a passive move to defend the pawn, and now the queen is standing in the way of the dark square bishop, so the bishop is blocked out by its own queen. Stockfish continues now with the move b4, really an amazing move. What should you do? For instance, if you try c takes b4, if you try to take, then queenside castling, as we said, is here a very dangerous idea. You have to play something like king to c8, but then again you're running into this diagonal where the bishop is very active, and again black is facing many tactical problems. I've analyzed even this position a little bit further. For instance, f4, bishop to c6, and now knight to f2 leads into a positional k in which black has maybe an extra pawn, but I think we can agree white's activity is much better. The knights are finally playing in the game, the knights are centralized. This bishop very dangerous, this bishop very dangerous. The rook has already taken over the only open file, the d file. Black's pieces are a little bit cramped. Knight is out of game, so many I would say positional problems even in this in the line for black. So that's why after move b4, Renegade continued now with c4, an expansion on the queen side. Stockfish plays now counterattack, hits now the rook, forces again the king to come on the light square diagonal, and now Stockfish has here a beautiful square for the knight. Now the knight is activated and is simply the best minor piece on the board. We have bishop to c6, knight to f2, queen to e8, and now bishop to d4. A nice centralizing move again by Stockfish. Stockfish first of all improves all of its minor pieces, and then when the time is right, then it will strike with some impossible tactics. We have now rook to e8, queen to b6, a5. Now here Renegade expands now on the queen side, tries of course here also to open up the a file, and now maybe put more pressure against white's king. And now Stockfish plays very a crazy tactic, plays now the stunning knight takes e6. sacrifices the knight, forces of course now a reaction by black, and now queenside castling anyway. And what should you do? For instance, if you play here rook to b8, then queen to a5 leads into complications. For instance, you try a4 to maybe pass through here, then bishop to f6 is here a stunning tactical shot. G takes f6, then bishop to e6, and now look at this, there is this problem. The knight is a little bit overloaded to the defense of the 8th rank. In one of the lines that I've analyzed at home, for instance, you can get even checkmated here by the beautiful rook and queen activity here in the center of the board. After queenside castling, Renegade, that's why cemented the position further, tried to defend now the knight on e6, but now bishop to e3, clearing now the d file. Bishop to b4, Stockfish allows here even the pawn to be taken, but you can guess, of course, the next move here by the fish. Rook takes d7. Stockfish continues to sacrifice further pieces here. Obviously, queen to d7 is not working because of bishop to e6. This is a tactic. This is a bishop. This bishop is protected, and you lose again decisive material. This is game over for black. After rook to d7, that's why black is forced to play with the king here towards the center. But now another beautiful move, queen to b7. You cannot cover with the knight here because the bishop's activity is again too much to handle. Obviously, king to b6, king to d8 is not working because after bishop to b6 again. The game is over here for black. So that's why after queen to b7, black is forced now to play the move king to d6. And you see now, although black is up a whole rook, white piece activity is so dangerous. Stockfish continues now with another stunner, maybe just for fun. If you want to practice some tactics, if you want to practice some cool ideas, pause the video and try to see now the best idea here for white. I'm not there to say white moves and wins the game, but I think in order to stay in the game, you have to now find simply the best next move. If you don't find this move, then actually black is taking over. So that's what I like about the Stockfish tactics. Sometimes there's only one unique idea to make further progress. If you don't find this idea, actually your opponent could take over. So what would you do now in this particular position? Okay, here Stockfish plays now beautiful e5. Decoys now the king towards the center. The issue is now, if you for instance try knight to e5 or maybe f takes e5, the same position will happen. Then you get knight to e4, a beautiful checkmate with the knight in the center of the board. That's now the huge tactical problem. So after move e5 that Stockfish found, here the Renegade is forced now to go with the king towards the center, but now comes f4. You get another move. If you play again king to d6, then f4 takes of course the e5 square, and then knight to e4 is again a beautiful and stunning checkmate. So after move f4, Renegade is forced now to give up the knight. We have now g takes f4, and now knight to f4. Again, you cannot step back here to d6. The issue is now after knight to e4, okay, you can maybe prolong the game a little bit by playing queen takes e4, but that's not the point. We don't want to even take out the queen. Actually, queen to d7 in this scenario is a beautiful checkmate by white in the center of the board. So g takes f4 forces now knight takes f4, and now comes bishop to d7. Great move here by Stockfish again, because bishop to f4 is not good actually. After king to f4, queen to c7, black is taking over. Black can simply cover with the queen, and in this scenario, believe it or not, black is even winning. So again, white has to find unique ideas in order to stay in the game, in order to keep the pressure against black's king. So that's why after knight to f4, bishop to d7, the correct choice obviously by Stockfish. Knight to e2, and in between attack here by Renegade, but now Stockfish simply hides with king to b2. And what should you do? For instance, in this position, I've analyzed at home, the move c3 seemed tempting to me, but actually, believe it or not, this move is not bringing you anything. We just play king to b1, you're trying maybe to centralize the queen again, bring the queen somehow into the attack, and then knight to g4. Look at this, it's also a stunning checkmate that's possible. That's also pattern that here black has to take care of. You play maybe king to d6, but then queen to c6, believe me or not, is again a beautiful checkmate. So this is really an epic attack. So what should you do? You can maybe try here bishop to c3 instead of c3, but it leads into the same complications. Again, this idea knight to g4 and then queen to c6 is a checkmate. So that's why for king to b2, queen to g6 has been played now by Renegade, and now this concept with knight to g4 is actually not working, because then black can escape to d6, and now if you deliver check, now notice that this square is finally cleared. Okay, still black will have a tough time maybe to defend this position, but my Stockfish engine at home evaluates this position as equal, so black, I would say, could defend this position then afterwards. So that's why again, here after king to b2 and queen to g6, again Stockfish has to be accurate in its attack. So that's why here instead of knight to g4, Stockfish plays now queen takes b5. Great move, forces now again a new reaction by black. Now comes bishop to g4, c3. For instance, if you play here from black's perspective, again it's not working, because even if you try, for instance, here the moves like f5, then bishop to e2, you can maybe, I don't know, try queen to g1, but then you can cover the first rank. White's pieces are well coordinated, they are protecting each other. The bishop is protecting the knight is protecting the bishop, the queen is now under fire, and still black's king is in danger. So this position leads into a disaster here again for black. So that's why for bishop to g4, you see f5 is not working, because queen to g1 and c3, this attacks on the first rank don't make sense here for black. So that's why here f5 immediately, Stockfish takes. We have now again the similar idea, but now here Renegade tried a different approach, tried to finally bring the rook into the game. And okay, black has still here the rook for two minor pieces, has here also 3 versus 1 situation, so has here a pawn majority. But the issue is still that black's king is still centralized. The issue is that still black's king is in danger. So even this rook to e8 concept here by black is simply not working. Stockfish continues now with a beautiful a3, rook to e3. If you play, then you get this one, queen to b6, a double attack against the king and the rook, and again the game is over. So after a3, bishop to a3, bishop to c4. Now comes rook to e3 with the same pattern, queen to b6, and now Stockfish has reached this position in which Stockfish has now an extra piece. But okay, still black maybe can rely on this 3 versus 1 situation here on the king side. We have bishop to d6, knight to d3, nice centralizing move, and now here Renegade grabs another pawn. But now Stockfish has the opportunity finally to deliver some checks. So black has to step back, Stockfish grabs a pawn. We have now a nice centralizing move by black, and now a beautiful queen to b6, which is not allowing any checks by black on the back rank. King to d7, Stockfish delivers a new check, and now there is a checkmate threat on d7, which forces again here a reaction by black, and now Stockfish finally grabs a very, very important pawn. Now there are only 2 pawns here on the king side. Stockfish broke also the pawn chain on the king side, and obviously Stockfish will try to pick up both of these pawns here on this side of the board. h6, bishop to a4, king to c8, and now Stockfish grabs another pawn. We have now king to d8, knight to b4, bishop takes, queen takes b4, queen to f6, and now after a couple of checks, Stockfish decided to go into this line where Stockfish traded off the queens, and believe me or not, after king takes f6 in this particular position, Renegade resigned. So let's see what's the problem of this endgame. Here, as we said, Renegade resigned, but I wanted to play a little bit longer. I wanted to show you one method how white can win this endgame. Obviously, white is going to go with the king towards the center of the board. We'll try, of course, to catch somehow this pawns, and once the king is there, then we can also push this one. You can maybe try, I don't know, h3, which seems like a logical idea. White doesn't have access here to these 2 squares. Then you just centralize the bishop again, attack the king, again play with your bishop, and then after bishop to d5, now finally it's time to go for this pawn. In one moment, if black again attacks this pawn, you can still protect it, and then you get the king closer, and now bishop to f3 with bishop to d5 again. It's game over here for black. So amazing attack by Stockfish. First of all, this beautiful piece sacrifice, then the exchange sacrifice, then a beautiful king hunt. Really stunning stuff. Beautiful calculations by Stockfish. Really one of the best chess games from the TCEC Season 27 Fisher Random event. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it a lot. Brutal tactics again by the fish. If you want to see some other beautiful and spectacular chess games like this, check out our The Chess Games Played by Computer series. series where we analyze some beautiful AI games. And if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. See you soon with some more videos, and what do we say in the end? Chess is the best, of course.